Hey guys, I'm Fancy.
And hello, I'm Mac, and welcome back to Gathering of the Crows, a deeper look, where we break down the true story behind the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, not the one sold to you by the media.
Today, we're tackling one of the most powerful tools in shaping public perception: media spin. How did Gypsy's story get manipulated? Who controlled the narrative? And why do so many people still believe the version that was pushed onto them?
And more importantly, why does it matter? Because the truth about Gypsy's medical history, her legal case, and the people involved in telling her story has been buried under a decade of media-driven falsehoods. Let's dig in.
Media spin isn't just what's reported, it's about how it's framed, what gets emphasized, and what gets conveniently ignored.
In Gypsy's case, the media ran with a victim narrative from day one. The story of an innocent disabled girl trapped by her evil mother was just too good to resist. It was marketable. It sold books, made TV shows, and turned Gypsy into a household name. But it wasn't the full truth.
And the people who benefited from this version: Christie, Rod, HBO, and everyone involved in crafting her media image. Gypsy's real medical history, her 1Q21.1 microdeletion syndrome, was completely ignored because it didn't fit the Munchausen by proxy narrative they were selling.
And let's talk about the most egregious example, the HBO documentary Mommy, Dead, and Dearest, which strategically left out key facts that would have changed the public's perception. Aaron Lee Carr, the director, took what Christie and Rod told her and ran with it without fact-checking the real medical records.
They never mentioned Gypsy's real diagnosis. They never questioned why her father and stepmother failed to intervene for over a decade. And they definitely didn't challenge the narrative that Gypsy was completely helpless. Instead, they just handed the public a pre-packaged villain and victim story. When a story is oversimplified for mass consumption, key truths get buried. In Gypsy's case, her genuine genetic disorder and the actual medical records were dismissed in favor of a more dramatic, one-sided tale.
And this isn't just about public opinion. It has real-world consequences. Think about how this shaped Gypsy's legal case. She was never evaluated by a forensic psychiatrist. No one looked at the role of trauma, memory distortion, or psychological manipulation in her decision making. They just went with the easiest explanation. She was a victim, and she snapped.
And this matters because it's still happening today. Gypsy has been released from prison, and instead of telling the truth, she's doubling down on her false victimhood story because the media still supports it.
And let's not forget, she's now making money from it.
Her book, her interviews, her reality show, all of it is based on the carefully crafted lie that she was forced into this crime. And as long as the media keeps feeding into it, the truth doesn't stand a chance. So, what's the takeaway here? The media isn't neutral. It doesn't just report facts, it shapes narratives to fit what sells. And in Gypsy's case, that meant turning a complicated, messy story into an easy to digest fairy tale.
But if we don't question what we're being told, we'll keep falling for these false narratives. And that's why we here want to break down all of it and expose the truth.
If you want more real analysis and deep dives into the lies behind this case, subscribe to our podcast, Gathering of the Crows, available on all major podcast players. And if you're ready to go even deeper, check out our investigative books, because we're just getting started.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next episode where we expose even more of the contradictions and manipulations behind this case. See you next time.
Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys.